Exactly 3 minutes past 9, and you're watching the Smart Men's Business. I'm Andrew Barija this morning, and definitely heading into our business insight this particular morning. And like I told you, we are relating to the aspect of tourism and seeing how the different stakeholders can play their role when it comes to attracting the numbers, because tourism is about the numbers. The more you have the numbers, definitely they dictate the revenues that you will pick from that. And of course, getting to understand that in the previous years, of course, during the COVID-19, we had a little bit of a decline in terms of the tourism arrivals. But like we saw a report, if we are to compare 2021 and 2023, the figures, there was an increase of about 59% in terms of the tourist arrivals, as we take a look at 2023, and that fetching an approximately of about $1.45 billion, kind of replacing the traditional exports like coffee, which generated roughly about 630 million US dollars, if you're to take a look at the report of 2023. But of course, for this reason, tourism, we've seen the recent conferences that marched the non-alignment movement, the G77 plus China, and their contribution to the MICE industry, which is anticipated to be contributing, to be worth rather about $1,365 billion come 2030. So how are we positioning ourselves as a country to be a part of this? So tourism is part of those key ventures. Now, for that reason, I'm joined with Justice Bamsime Justice. He is the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of Great Lions Safaris. And of course, getting to understand and break down what is the role of these operators in terms of attracting tourism revenue into the country, Uganda. Good morning, Justice. It's a pleasure to have you.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right. And now heading into, of course, the topic of discussion. Before we came on air, you were telling me something about the digital divide, the digital presence, which has revolutionized the tourism industry, most especially in Uganda.
Yeah, sure. Digital is taking over the world.
Yeah.
Whereby I feel like we need to utilize it as a country and we tend on how to improve tourism and digital marketing. Because the world is really moving into the digital era, whereby everything they do, they want to do digital.
Digital, yeah.
Because when you look at, let's say, take you back outside tourism, when you look at education, when you go to Parliament, they are discussing on how to improve the education system, whereby children are allowed to have the phones and make research. And in that manner, if they also put tourism in that trend, I feel like tourism is going to trend. Why? Because everyone, I believe, is on Twitter, is on Facebook or Instagram.
Yes.
So we need to put up the socks and put everything content. We do more content and put it on the medias. We brand our country. We love our country, Uganda, and we put it there with meaningful content. Because I believe, like most young tour operators, they get their clients through media.
Through media.
Because they don't have funds to go to Canada and get travel agents. They don't have funds to go to USA and get travel agents. But they do more media.
Okay.
They do more blogs, they do more of Google ads, they do more of influencing. Because when you try also to read about marketing, initially I didn't do marketing, but I read more about marketing.
Yes.
When you try to read about marketing, it shows you like influencing is taking over the world and Facebook is the leading platform for marketing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Followed by Google. So when you try to look at that trend, I feel like as a country we need to do more of it. And I feel like the government would have done much better to unlock Facebook because it's the biggest marketing tool in the world.
Okay.
And right now when you use VPN, it will not show like you're in Uganda. It may show me that I'm in Canada. Or it will show me
to the person that is watching in another, that is viewing from another
because
country.
I'm using a VPN that it's not allowed in Uganda. So we need to do more of marketing on media.
That's very interesting. Now, you told me something about we've been having a conflict between we have the new rising companies vis-a-vis the traditional companies. And you mentioned the aspect of they still have these old-fashioned ways of marketing. But what could be the reason as why there is that sort of a sluggishness in terms of progression?
Well, I can say all the way before, people in tourism were not like not all that having those qualifications.
Qualifications, yes.
Because when you go into the statistics of tourism, most of them are not educated to that level of maybe masters, maybe PhD, maybe degree. Most of them you find like they stopped on senior 4, they stopped in P7. So right now the fact that most companies that are coming up, some of them have just finished degree, some of them
have just finished school. Huh?
Yeah, they have finished school.
The CEOs that are
so that alone, he has a different aspect of how he does how he does tourism in a different aspect. Like it's unique compared to the old one. For instance, when you go into the statistics of like last year, when you go into the companies that have supplied more tourists, they have not spent more than 10 years or more than 15 years in this sector.
So they have spent less than those years?
They have spent less than 15 years in the sector.
Okay.
And we have those that have been here for 20, 25 years.
And they didn't get even a portion?
No, they have gotten a portion, but I'm saying the one smaller. That us in the tourism aspect of better, this one is doing very much better. Those guys are not yet 15 years in the sector. So why? Because there's how they are using the media. There's how they are using media to pull up the clients. They don't have travel agents, but they pull up the media and they attract more tourists.
Okay.
So I feel like the only unique thing is about the government to support the young companies. Why? Because they're having more visibility in the media, they're having more creativity. And we need content in tourism.
Content in tourism.
Because content is the one that is going to push us. For instance, when you go on Twitter, the ones that you see are making a lot of noise about tourism, the ones that make tourism look good, they are all young chaps. Because we have time for media, but when you go into these old people, they don't have time to go and write about tourism. So really, I feel like the government has to do something about
it.
About it, really.
So I'm talking about the media. What is the right approach to make it effective for the tourists, for the tour operators? The effective approach, because there is having the media at your display, you have the digital, you have this social media, but your approach towards it is not yielding results on your side as a tour operator and also attracting tourists to come in the country.
Well, it also defines how you use your media. Yesterday I was talking to someone and I was telling her that one thing you have to know, how you position yourself on media is how people look at you.
Okay.
So how you pull up the media and it comes back to you is very simple. You have to be creative so that the video you make or the photo you take, it pulls out people.
It pulls out people.
Not every photo is worth it. No, not every video is worth it. Someone is going to make a photo and you're going to give it attention and feel like this is a good photo.
Okay.
That is what we call creativity also. That's why not everyone is a photographer, although they have cameras, no. So how you put the video, it also pulls the people, because the video you post there, it should be showing the word like, this is a unique character. For instance, when I was in Mombasa for the conference, I talked to someone about Goya trekking.
Gorilla trekking?
Yes. He told me she knew the one of Rwanda.
Okay.
So that one bothered me a lot, like how yet we are neighbors. She didn't know like we are cheaper. So the way you position and show like we do Goya trekking, but it's a much far cheaper than Rwanda. That's also how you can pull people to come here. But mere posting on media, it doesn't pull people because you have to post and then you explain about the post. If you put a photo, you have to show like this is Action Force, the most powerful force in the world. You talk about it so that in case someone reads about it, is interested and is pulled. Mere photo won't buy someone to come. Okay. Give a detail about it, someone is going to have the idea on it. It may go to action.
In other words, you add value to what you've posted.
Exactly.
Interesting. Now, of course, now taking a look at some aspects here. How are you balancing the pricing bit to attract tourists while ensuring profitability in some sort of a way?
Where that is like positioning yourself. Because that
pricing
is like, yes. Pricing is very difficult, is a bit challenging. Because when you try to look at someone to be like, cost for me this is going to be a bit higher. When you do it, it becomes a bit cheaper. I feel like when you're entering in the tourism industry, you have to specify and maybe make contracts with hotels.
Okay.
Make contract with transportation companies in case you don't have your own cars. That one alone is going to ease you, because why? They have like tour operator rates, let's say hotels, and you can negotiate with them. If you negotiate with the hotel, if it is offering at $200 a night, you can negotiate and be like a day-to-day partner, and they give it to you like $160. That alone, the $40 you're getting, that is also another profit. When you go back to the transportation companies, you need a reliable transportation company for your tourists. If you don't have your tourist vans, that is also going to give you a discount, because someone is assured of the day-to-day business of the transportation. Secondly, it's about knowing your market, knowing your potential clients, what they love and what they want.
What they want. Okay.
You may have seen a lot of trips going to Ginger. Let's say someone is pricing 50K for a day. Don't think they're not making money. They make money because of how they position and know their clients what they want.
Okay.
They make money. They feel like if we do 50K, this is going to be this, and they make money. But all in all, I believe in making contracts.
Contracts
with hotels and transportation companies. That alone makes you make more profits.
Okay.
And knowing your market.
That is the way to go. Now, talking about another aspect, because I get to realize that if tourists are to come to this country, of course, you, the tour operator, you've done your work, you've taken them here, you've given them the experience. But then there is another aspect when it comes to service delivery of other, can I call them secondary parties? Because you're the primary party, they have owned you first. Now, these ones I'm talking about financial institutions, I'm talking about it could be telecommunications, because it would be very absurd for a tourist is trying to communicate with people home on Skype and the network is quite too slow. So how are you working in line with these other service providers to ensure that there is that maximum efficiency, most especially when it comes to the areas where the tourists are going to have accommodation?
And I'm much happy about that actually. Way before, when I started in tourism, that was 2018, the network in some places was too poor.
Too poor.
Too poor. But the exciting news is like right now you can go to Maction and WhatsApp and video call. Why? The government has tried to attract these telecommunication companies to put more mass there, to improve the network connection that side.
Okay.
Right now you can go there and still WhatsApp, do calls, though not other places, okay, not other areas,
but at least.
But I feel like at least now. Secondly, the lodges have also tried to improve on the Wi-Fi things, whereby you can go there and have Wi-Fi, because those people, we see, they don't have Ugandan lines, so they have to go and use Wi-Fi for them to communicate back home. But the interesting part is that the government is doing much far better to contract with the telecommunication companies to improve on the networks in the park. That alone has done it much far better, because me as a company, we cannot have those capabilities to go and contract the telecommunication companies. It becomes a bit costly for you.
Okay.
But the government is trying to listen to operators, because we need more network that side. Because when I'm there, I have also to post about Uganda. I don't have to post after I've left. I have to post immediately when I'm there. But the government is doing much far better right now about it.
Okay.
The network is there. You can go there, at least you make a call.
Now, also that brings me back to the aspect of culture immersion, that if a tourist comes in Uganda, for example, they want to feel like I'm in Uganda. It would be very absurd if they came to Uganda and what they find in hotels served to them is the same food they have been tasting in their countries. How are we looking at that diversification coming into reality when it comes to even the beers they take? Do they have a chance to take some of the local brews with filled, somebody tells you that we used this alcohol we used sorghum. To them, it's a wondrous aspect. The culture immersion. How are we interplaying with that to create an absolute difference?
And the interesting bit about it, for instance, when you travel abroad, you also not be interested in eating your food that you've been eating here.
Yeah, you need to taste
something different.
Yes.
So the same way they come here, they want to taste on our local food. And I can tell you, Uganda, we have delicious food. Okay. We have delicious fruits. We have delicious meals everywhere. And that alone has put tourists, because that is what we call like culinary tourism. Though we haven't initiated it in Uganda, we haven't given it much attention, but we call it culinary tourism, whereby it's like travel. Okay, like people love food, they travel for adventure for food. The same way you can leave your apartment and go to eat, let's say, in a certain hotel. Because you won't taste their food. That's the same way some people come, and that alone is a good aspect. Like we have cultural sites, cultural villages that offer those services. And right now I can tell people just go there to go and taste their food, to go and taste their meals. So I feel like it's a good move for us to specify on our local food. We create and brand our local food. To say it out the word, I can assure you people love our pineapples in Uganda.
They do.
People love our fruits. There's no tourist who's going to come here and eat on the fruits and is not going to give a good review. They'll be like, wow, what a delicious fruit it is.
Okay.
Because they are very juicy. When you compare the food abroad and here, you feel like the food here is much far better. So they want, we should not even look at doing that meal. We should look at being on our meal. We look at how to spice it more for them to enjoy it.
Okay. All right. Now, also that brings me to the aspect of, there are lots of discussions that are going on in relation to climate change. And we know that one of the sole reason why some of these tourists love Uganda, it's all related to the climate, which is engineered by the vegetation cover and all this. Now, it brings me to the aspect of conservation of tourism sites. How far have you gone in terms of pushing this? Because once what has been the sole attraction of these people is normal, even you on the business side, it will affect you because they won't find a reason to come to Uganda, and they will even look for the justification of being called the Pearl of Africa. So how far have we gone in terms of, as tour operators, in ensuring that the tourist sites are conserved, not only tourists, but also the entire vegetation of the country, which, because it drives the climate. How are we seeing that being maintained?
Well, that is a bit tricky part of it, though it's a nice question. I can tell you, as I can first go on the side of the government, I feel like the government has not implemented the law on maintaining this biodiversity.
The biodiversity, okay.
I feel like it has not done much far. Why? It is letting people encroach the wetlands, the forests, the game parks, whereby we seem to have forests, we have a lot of biodiversity. So if the government could implement the law, let the law take its course. Because they let the rich take, but the poor cannot even bother to encroach a little. And if you can let the rich take, it means they're going to encroach it the more. Though as operators, you make one voice, we have made one voice, asking the government if we can enforce the laws about it. If we can enforce the law about it and see how we can maintain the biodiversity, maintain the climate change. Because right now you can feel that there's some heat change where you are. You feel like in the evening it is too hot for you.
Too very, very hot, very true.
So everyone was complaining yesterday, like on statuses, like it's too hot, like Asana is too much. That only is showing like there is an encroachment. Because when you move outside your Kampala, you're not going to feel the same way you're feeling here. If you go, let's say, like in the West. Because here there is a lot of increase in population that has encroached on the forest, that has encroached on all the wetlands, and that alone has not needed more climate change. That is a bit good. So that's why we need to co-op the government, not even for us to operators alone, but us as general, the general in the public, because it doesn't affect operators alone, but it affects us all now. Why? Tourism is a trend that if I make money, also going to benefit.
Exactly.
Everyone might benefit, but indirectly. The same way I may contract you as a media personality, come and do branding for us. You also benefited from the trust that came in and gave us dollars. Then you go back and contract someone of the hotel, contact someone of the car rental, contact the community villages that you're going to visit for cultural villages, cultural communities, for something like that, cultural walks, all that. So I feel like it's a trend that all of us have to get up and pull up, because tourism feeds everyone.
Absolutely.
Every day to day, tourism takes place, because even these borders are in tourism already, because they did transportation.
Transportation, yeah.
The taxis, they're in transportation. So I feel like it's a general issue that we don't need to specify on operators alone, because once I'm affected, you're affected.
You're also affected. Now that brings me to the aspect of for you to ensure that that is a success. Do you really has the government been supportive in that line? And if yes, if not as expected, what areas, most especially when it comes to capacity building, do you think is effective for you to operate within the ecosystem?
Pardon?
What areas do you think the government can help, most especially when it comes to capacity building within the tour operators to efficiently operate within the landscape, the tourism landscape in Uganda?
Wow. That is, I can say, teamwork. Number one thing.
Teamwork. Yeah.
Teamwork. Because operators, we are united. People in tourism, we are united.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Why? That's how we have associations. You have, because in tourism, first and foremost, you can't work alone. And that pushes us we push the government as much as far as to support us. But all we are like a teamwork, because you have to know this one, you can't do this one does this, you can't do this. I can say I can't do birding, but this one can do birding.
Can do birding, yeah.
I can't do this one can do this. So you have to have connections. And again, you need to guide. So that's why I'm saying, as we do teamwork. Because when we are calling up the government, I will not get up as just us alone.
Yeah.
And we push it up. No, I have to path is through against the associations, then we push it up. That's when we come up with government to support us. But our strength is like we use teamwork and one voice.
Okay.
Because recently, if you have been aware, the associations have been calling up the government to pull up and support tourism, to pull up and involve the private sectors in tourism for it to push. And because we know it much far better than those you say experts that have not been in tourism. Because someone in the field knows the pain. The pain. That's why they say the patient knows the pain much far better than you seeing him or her. So us, we know what we really need is to be pulled up. But them, they make research, they do all the visibility studies, but you need to involve that team that is on the ground.
Okay.
For them to give their idea. So that's why I'm saying we use teamwork.
Okay. All right. Watching Smart Means Business, of course, discussing matters to do with the tourism and how the local tour operators can play a role when it comes to attracting tourism in terms of revenue earnings. But of course, I'm with Justice. He is the CEO of Great Lions Safaris, breaking down these matters. Of course, let's take a short break for now. And of course, I'm still returning with Justice. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business. Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock on my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're so tingy. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Cooking oil like no other makes the meal so sweet and scrumptious. The taste of Uganda, yeah, the taste of Uganda,
Luxury redefined at Seasand Hotel as you indulge in the splendor of elegant living fit for the royalty that you are. Step into comfort, pampering and blissful customer-centric service as you select from our range of comfy, exquisite living quarters furnished to meet with your royal preference. Surrounded by scenic beauty, our tropical setting allows you to escape the glamorous ordeal of city life. Our ambient green gardens will guide you to a place of revitalizing rest. The 3-star restaurant caters to your palate, serving your choice menu ranging from exotic cuisines to local delicacies. Our chefs will serve you full-course meals for a truly out-of-this-world culinary experience. Our fully stocked bar to whet your throat, from renowned global brand whisks, brandies, gins, beers and wines to our locally celebrated beverages, you will not lack for any brewage. It's an all-new experience in the East at Seasand Hotel. So visit today at Plot 15 to 19 Spire Road, Ginger, or contact us on +256 751 719 960 and +256 785 354 614 for reservations. Seasand Hotels, luxury redefined.
Smart 24, driving business.
Yes, we'll be back from the break. Smart means business. I'm Andrew Barija. It's 29 minutes to the top of the hour. And of course, discussing the role of tour operators, local tour operators, when it comes to boosting tourism revenue within the country. But of course, before we proceed with that, still to remind you, Smart 24 TV, you can find us on GOTV, that's channel 320, and the DSTV channel 372. And for those of you that are obsessed with the social media, at Smart24 TV, that's on Twitter, and Smart24 TV Official, that's on Facebook. You can always link up with us as we post open discussions, and you can give your opinion in relation to that. And those obsessed with gadgets, we have a package for you. You go to the Google Play Store and then download the Smart Digital application. And when you have this application, the beauty with this is that you will be able to stream Smart24 TV, NBS Radio, and Smart FM at the same time. And of course, coming down to also our YouTube handle, that's Smart24 TV Live, where you can stream Smart24 TV regardless of where you are on this planet. Could be in the United States and want to follow up on the business updates locally within the country, Uganda. Smart24 TV Live, that's definitely the home for you to achieve that. And Smart24.tv, that's our official website. You're a business student in a business institute, you're making your research, and you're looking for updated facts. Well, visit Smart24.tv. We definitely give you that. And it can be something research that is impactful, most especially when it comes to decision making by top and middle level managers. And of course, Plot 42 Nile Avenue, that's the home of Smart24 TV, where I am currently right now, broadcasting to you. Come meet us, let's talk, see how we can help each other to grow one other's business. Well, to continue with the discussion with Justice Bamusime, yes, now, there is something I observed. Last year, we had reports about some of the tourism areas. For example, there is this area down in
Queen? In Queen?
Not Queen necessarily. I think it's, is it Chivale?
Okay.
Where there was an issue of power shortages. And, some of the tourists were there. There are lodges, there is no power, they can't do anything. Well, I mean, how is that affecting your operations?
Well, our power shortage affects everything day to day. Because right now, like I said, first, if there's power shortage, hotels won't be having electricity. Some of hotels use electricity to cook, so they will not be having it. So there will be delays in serving food, and that delay in serving food also causes delays in activities or missing out on activities.
So what immediate solution would, as a tour operator at that time, what are you seeing on how to ensure that despite this, business should keep moving?
Well, it's just about calling up the hotels. Not like there's power shortage almost maybe every after some time. Calling up the hotels to implement other electricity means. Let's say you can use solar. You can do, let's say we use what do we call biogas? Biogas, yes. Biogas, yeah. The hotels can implement that as well, and they also put solar in case, or they buy standby generator, because these are our clients. These are our clients that you have to make money out of them, and you have to give them the services for them to feel comfortable. So you get the small portion of the profit you make. Buy a solar, standby generator, put it there. In case power goes off, put there, so that you don't cause some alarm at the hotel because of shortage of power, because you have to miss out on some things. So I feel like the hotels have to do much better about it with the support of the government, because the government can say like, hotels, we are giving you tax-free on these products you're buying, you can put in store. I think it would also make ease way. The same way they say tourism cars we're not paying taxes if you qualify, they can also say like, if you're using the facilities at the hotel, we are excluded from the taxes.
The taxes.
If you're importing a generator, you're excluded from the taxes. So I feel like that would be much easier to help one another. The government to help us and also make it easier for them.
Now, do you think some have taken efforts to really even implement that?
Yeah, sure. Some hotels do start have standby generators.
Okay.
Like I said before, I think I said the point, whereby many people that are in this business we differ on different capital.
Okay.
People that maybe feel like, I have a vision to be a tour operator, I have a vision to have a hotel in one of the parks, and you acquire one. Some of them might find like they have built their hotel on loans. So I feel like the government has to come in and do subsidization.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now also puts me back on the security issues related to that. In terms of what happened, we had an issue, of course. Now, as people as private players, how can how do we reshape the image? Because like you mentioned about the digitization aspect. So all this is what people want to, this is something that you have to kind of kill in the minds of the people that are watching that, hey, okay, I know this happened, but, well, let's still go to Uganda.
Well, I can say we are still backward in media usage.
Okay.
In Uganda. We use wrong our media, and where we have to use it very well, we use it also wrong. We use it in a different manner. Why? It's not like it happens only in Uganda.
Of course.
Because I was reading news like it happened last year in Kenya, Kilimanjaro. But you will not hear it in anywhere. You won't find like it does not sound like how in Uganda it trends. And it's very wrong for me to say also some media houses use it in a different manner. Like if it happens like that, don't rush to post it like everywhere. Look on how to maybe to sweeten the something so that it doesn't look weird. I feel like if we can learn how to use the media, let's say it has happened, yes, but let us not push it to be like Uganda is insecurity. There's a lot of insecurity in Uganda.
Probably there are political aspirations that come along that, why some people push it to that extent.
Where I feel like we sometimes use the media very long somehow, somewhere. Instead of us, let's say, posting something that is very something has happened in Uganda, we are not going to post about it. I didn't see people post about NAM, and that was a good move for Uganda.
I think they did on
people they posted because of Muyonyo, because how it looks. It looks really cute. But you will not see like everyone is posting how they can post someone who has been killed and queen. I feel like that's how we go wrong in media usage. So I feel like we need also to learn how to use the media. It will not happen like in Rwanda, like, and you hear it like everyone is posting about it. All this, no. let bad news be bad news. Like, you don't have to talk about them all the time. Let us make more noise on good news.
Okay.
I feel like, remember, like we said, digital is taking over the world.
Digital, yes.
So if we can use that digital and we post good things, we learn how to use the media. Remember, media portrays who you are. Like they say, tell me your friend, I tell who you are. If you post these things, people outside, how are they going to look at us? If we can post these things and be like, we are posting good things about, they're going to be like, wow, what a country, let me go to Uganda. But if you can post these things, people are going to be like, in Uganda there is insecurity, but indeed Uganda, we are peaceful. Look at our neighbors, all of them. You find like there is a lot of chaos.
A lot of chaos, yeah.
But they are all coming to Uganda. And Ugandans, they are hospitable. So that alone shows like Uganda, we are more than secure in terms of security, but we use the media in terms to push it very badly. Secondly, the government is the one that has to come out and defend. If something has happened, it's the government to come out and push the media to be like, no, it's ABCD. It gives good image. We do our job as locals, but those people want to listen to the government. What is it saying?
Okay. But we can, I think the locals still have the ability to trend something. I mean, because sometimes government might be slow to respond. And this is your business. At the end of the day, you have to see how you make this trend that, no, there is this. Okay, you're focusing on this, but there is this now that is happening. That's what
you're right. Actually, if you're being observant, there was no, I think, like, person in tourism who really loves tourism that pushed it on media. Like, who posted on medias. All of us, I got to know those news, they called me straight from there. Someone, I have many friends there. They called me just as, there's a car that has pass looks like yours. I was like, what? I called the person who was having it. He was like, no, it's not me. But we have had some story. Last when I thought, no, like there was some bad news. But I didn't post even on my status to be like, bad news. How we use the media. I feel like we have to learn how to use the media also.
You're right.
The government has pushed us to have smartphones, has pushed us to do more of digitalization, but we have to learn how to use the media. Because if we can push it very well, it will push it.
Interesting. Now, there is tourism sites that have been a bit redundant. Recently, there was a report talking about Ankole, part of those sites, the Kingdom, and so many more they mentioned. As private players, how are we? Okay, I understand the government has a role, but we can do something about it to revive of these places for more tourists to get attracted to come to our country, Uganda, because it also diversifies our tourism portfolio, what we have to offer to the world.
Oh, you are right. Actually, it's like cultural tourism now.
We
are going back to cultural tourism now. Actually, that could be a good aspect because in Uganda we have good culture.
We do.
I can give you an example of two regions. I can say I'm in love with Uganda or how they do their cultural things. Because here you cannot talk about cultural tourism and you don't talk about Uganda or the northern region. Though the northern region may talk because they still do all like the ATS era. A bit.
Yeah, some degree. A
little bit. So that alone, that's why you find like most tourists who want to do cultural tourism, they will move to that region. And when you come to Buganda, they have left it for Buganda Kingdom to put it up. And that has failed in Ankole, like you talked about Ankole. That has failed in Ankole really.
It has
because Ankole is like, all of them are big men. Who's going to be Kawaka, who's going to be this? Because when you try to hear the stories, initially before there's a man who claimed to be the king to come, that is the one. But it wasn't very well for him. The stories didn't go good.
Didn't go well.
So really, I can say it's the government that has to give support, has to come and let's say we have given you the private sector, or we have given you like, how can I call it? Okay, to give you like, to make it freelance for you, that you can now put it up yourself. The same way Buganda is doing it. Take a look at Kasubi Tombs.
About to be opened.
Yes. Take a look at, I saw Kabaka visiting it recently. Take a look at the northern region. Their kings are still working and they still sound. They have given them the support, they have given them the authorities, they have given them all the powers.
The subordinates.
Yes.
Okay.
So really, I feel like It's the government now ready to treat it back to what? To people.
To people.
And they make it the way it should be. Because cultural tourism is good. Because if you can look at Uganda, if we can combine cultural tourism, you combine about...
What about spiritual tourism, actually?
Spiritual tourism?
You know, India earns about some good amount, like about $60 billion from spiritual tourism. I mean, no, 60% of its earnings. China beat 27. So I thought it could be something, a venture to consider in as diversifying what we can deliver out there.
I feel like we can do much far better on things that God blessed us first with. Because really, as Uganda, we're blessed with nature, wildlife.
Yeah.
That is the number one thing. Secondly, we can go to the culture side. We're also blessed. We have different cultures, different ways of doing things. And I can tell you it's very still good. Go to northern Uganda, you will take a photo, and because let's say in northern Uganda, they share the same as those of Masai Mara, some little bit. Go to Matheniko, go to Bwindi, and you go to Batwa, those people. So I feel like we can first specialize on these things that maybe
that we already
have, that people know about us, as you put. That's why they say, if you're doing business, know your strengths and your weaknesses.
Absolutely.
First work on your strength as you pull up the weaknesses slowly. Because if you focus on the weakness, your things might also become your weakness.
Okay. Now there is something here. In Uganda, we have the tourism sites. Our neighbors have the facilities. So how are we creating that balance really in terms of accommodation, lodges, and we may not have the best in terms of standard, but we have the sites. So how are we, in your own opinion, what do you think we can do to ensure that we create a balance that way? Because some tourists might be attracted to Kenya because of the accommodation, not necessarily the sites. And because of they are not bad, but we're getting there, but not yet there. So how are we leveraging on the cultural sites we have already? Because we really have a lot of, we are endowed, God blessed us, like you said, with that. So how are we making sure that we cover that? I mean, in a way that those with the best accommodation facilities, we can outbid them in terms of numbers.
Wow. Well, I can say now it has also to put on the other side of the government, because let's say you want to do accommodation in Queen, the government has to be involved.
Must be involved, yeah.
Yes, because that is the government property, government land. So really, I feel like, and there's a move right now. If you have your money and you want to do a hotel, you can go and contact them. They'll give you land and they'll allocate your land and you do the hotel. Though the only thing like I talked about, we still lack a lot of support in the tourism sector. I might have the capacities to do something, but you find like the conditions are not favorable.
The conditions are not favorable.
Yes. Okay. Why? And secondly, if that our turn-up is still a bit not good compared to our neighbors. So if you can do more marketing for Uganda, I'm sure the investors are going to come in and do more what? Investing in accommodation.
The services okay.
Because when you move around, when you move to Rwanda and you move to Kenya, yes, they have good accommodations, as you said.
Yes.
But it's because they have done more marketing. They're pulling up more investors to come and do the what? Investment in the accommodation. Okay. The same way, if you can do marketing and branding for Uganda, outside Uganda, I'm sure there are going to be many investors interested in coming to Uganda to come and invest here. And secondly, Uganda, we haven't done as much as possible to educate about tourism in Uganda. And I would love to go and invest in tourism, but they lack knowledge on how it works.
Okay. Some of it's expensive.
Exactly. But you can make money out of it. There's good money in tourism.
Okay.
We really need to do and talk to these investors in Uganda. People who have money, they can go and invest in hotels, in accommodations in the parks. Because the more hotels they do, the more it attracts. Because the hotels also do their marketing outside there.
Okay.
And they attract their clients directly, indirectly, in one way or another. So really, I feel like we need to do more of education into the tourism, into the Ugandans. Let it be created amongst those people. Educate them about how these things work, how they can make money out of it. Because those rich people want to hear one thing: how can I make money out of this thing?
Okay.
Go and sit with a rich man, tell him about tourism, educate him. Tomorrow he's going to come back and invest in it.
All right. And lastly, how far have we gone in terms of virtual when it comes to virtual tourism?
Wow, virtual tourism, we are still redundant about it. I was reading about virtual tourism. I think it was like 1 month back. I was saying an example of Canada.
Yeah.
They tried to implement it, but they are still doing more upgrades. And secondly, it uses 5G. Because 5G, I think 5G is the one that is much far better for virtual tourism.
Even AI actually to operate. Yeah, you're right.
It uses 5G.
5G.
And our network is still on 4G. I've seen few networks doing to 5G.
5G. I think Airtel launched the 5G.
Yes, but it's still shaky because they are trying to implement it. You know, when you're trying to implement something, it doesn't work out like smartly.
Like the way, yeah.
You have to first put in small portion as you do improvements. So I think we have to first work on the network, then you can do the virtual tourism. Because virtual tourism actually would be the best marketing tool. Because if you go to Expo or Summit outside Uganda, and you can do that virtual tourism, someone is going to look at, hey, if I come to Queen, I can say this.
Yes, that's what Rwanda uses actually.
Yes.
When those expos in Dubai, showcasing.
If you can't do that, someone is going to be put to be like, oh, I can see tree climbing lines in Queen.
And yeah.
You mean Uganda has gorillas? You mean what? This? Because virtual tourism is going to show. Because right now we still do more like, I can say paperwork. I can say like paperwork because we have only content, written content and videos. But someone, if it does virtual tourism, it is going to work. And secondly, it requires a lot of money. Because you have to give it like 5 months to do good video that we can upload there.
Okay.
Because you have to go to Queen, visit all the parts of Queen.
All the parts.
Yes. Do content creation. And that's time consuming. It will be like, it needs a lot of investment in it.
I believe it would create a lot of employment opportunities for people when it starts to kickstart.
It will, and it really needs money for you to invest. Because you imagine doing 5 months content, or you want to do it so that someone can sit in just a space of what, 30 minutes or 1 hour when you go and sell it out to them.
So you have to summarize and break it down.
Yes.
Interesting. It's been a pleasure to have you, Mr. Justice. I've been with the Pausini Justice. He's the CEO, Great Lions Safaris. He's a tour operator. And of course, we've been breaking down the role of the local tour operators in terms of attracting tourism and revenue. But of course, thanks for being a part of Smart Means Business today's edition. And of course, I'd love to wish you a very productive day, and we shall definitely link up tomorrow. Good morning.
Smart 24, driving business.